Hey everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of it's Square It Up Saturday. And on this new series, what we're going to be talking about are the blankets that I am working on throughout the year. Now, one of them is a year-long project, which I'll let you know about. Actually, two of them will be kind of year-long, and one of them is just going to be whenever I get it done. And so, yeah, let's get started. I want to say welcome to everybody who is new. If you see something that you like, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so that you will always be able to come and join me. Also, the notification bell, the one that is completely filled in, so that you'll get a notification every time I upload a new video. And feel free, guys, to share it out. If you think you know somebody who would enjoy the content that I create, please share me out, because I am hoping that 2022 will be the year that I really get beyond 2,000. I'm like 200 people away from having 2,000 subbies, and I want to have more family members. So please feel free to share wherever you can, especially if you know people who would enjoy the content. So anyway, let's get started. On these Saturdays, what we will be talking about are, like I said, the blankets that I'm working on that are made up of squares. Okay, so right now I have 3 ongoing. I have one that's old, and maybe we'll go ahead and start with that one. This is and all I brought over was the squares, and hopefully I can remember all the yarns that I'm working with on these. I think I can, on these squares. So, there's one thing I did not bring, but I'm gonna go and get it. Let me just pause you for a second here. All right, so I'm ready to go. All right, so here's what we're working on. Let me show you first the blanket that I am making for Jordan. And this is going to, I decided, I've gone back and forth with this, but since I'm already 6 squares in, I'm just going to go ahead with that. I think I want to do something different for the next yarn blanket that I make, but here we go. I am making the circle in a square, and I found this one on not on Instagram. I got it on the internet, and I am going to grab the name. But anyway, circle in a square, and really it's not a blanket pattern. I just have the square pattern, and then I'm going to decide how many of these squares I'm gonna get. So I currently have just one. Well, I may somewhere in the stash have another ball of this. I think I saw one. So right now in the bag I have maybe 2 more of the black, 1 more of these, and a couple of partials. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make as many of these circle in a squares as I possibly can. And then I plan to, and here's the black one, so we're just going to be switching it out. So some will have a black center, and some will have a gray center with a black outline, and black with a gray outline. So that's the plan. And right now I've got 3 grays and 3 blacks, and now I'm showing you the back of this one. It looks like so I got 3 blacks with gray centers and 3 gray with black centers. Now this one that I just made last night, I'm using an L hook, and it's the hook that was in the bag, so I know that it's the hook I used on the rest. This is the one from, I still weave in those ends. This is the one from last night. And when I compare it to one of the ones I made a while ago, you can tell my gauge is totally different. So the one from last night is bigger. I'm not gonna worry about it. It'll all work out. It'll come out in the wash at the end because I made the others months ago, and so it's not surprising that my gauge is a bit different. Okay, so that's that one. So like I said, I'm going to just make as many even number of the squares and as many as I can get out of that yarn, and then we will go from there because it's going to be like a kind of design as you go kind of thing. And it if you look at the black one, it's interesting because it's not just a solid black. I don't know if you can see the color there. You can see the color variation. It's got like little gray flecks in it, and it looks like, you know, you got dust all over it, but really that's the way that the yarn is made. And so I haven't decided how I'm gonna join them. I know I'm gonna do likely I don't know if I'm doing 4 across and, you know, 5 down. That means I would need 20, but I want to make it as big as possible. It's for Jordan, and I want him to be able to use it for as long as possible. When I first started making it, I was thinking I would just make it for him and who he is right now. But I really am I want to make it as big as possible so that, you know, even as he gets older, this is something that he'll be able to keep if it survives him. So that is that. I got 6 of them made. And with that one, you will likely see progress every week on that one. Now the next blanket that I'm working on, I was going to look up where I got that from. Circle. And bad spelling. Circle in a square. It's the first one that comes up when you Google it. Crochet. Okay, so it's really the first one that will pop up. So it is from a website called Just Be Crafty. It's a blog, and it's circle to square granny square tutorial. I will link it down below. So I am just making, like I said, as many as I can, and then we will design it when we're done making squares. We'll figure out the layout and all of that. So that's that one. That one is done. We're done talking about that one. All right, next one is going to be a year-long one, and I didn't bring the pattern over here, but it is from I found this one on Instagram, and it's a girl named I think it's Lulees Crochet, and she made this 12-month memory blanket last year. Now, guys, you know I don't have the greatest history of finishing and sticking with a year-long project. However, what appealed to me about this one is that when she called it a memory blanket, and I just thought, hold on guys, Alexa, stop. Sorry. Anyway, what appealed to me about this one that I'm about to, this 12-month Lulees 12-month memory blanket is the word memory. So she actually made this through the year of 2021. And at the end of 2021, it served as a memory for her. I never really thought about the other year-long projects that I attempted in the past as a memory. So I'm framing it differently. And so I think because I'm framing it differently, I will actually finish this one. So it's 12 different tiles. It's black and white, very graphic. That appealed to me as well. And, you know, it's 1 square per month. At the end of 12 months, you will have 12 squares, which you will seam together. And I'm thinking I'm going to try to actually finish it sooner so that it can be possibly gifted for Christmas. So anyway, so what I'm doing with it is I'll show you the square and then I'll show you what I'm doing with it. So here is this is the January square. Actually looks pretty good in the camera. It looks pretty good. It's a little wonky. And my question to you guys is, when you make a blanket like this, do you block each square, or do you sew it together and block the whole thing? It'd be hard to block it. It's acrylic. I'm using Red Heart Super Saver in the colorway white and black. I wanted to use soft white, but Michael's didn't have it, and I wanted to get started on this project, and so I went ahead and I'm just doing black and white. This one is the January square. It is the puff stitch square. Now this actually is a free pattern. I don't know if she's still doing it. I will link her Instagram. I actually linked it on the Facebook group in the past. When she put this up at the beginning of, or the end of December, beginning of January, she said that if you emailed her or if you messaged her, she would send you the free pattern. And that's what I did, because I was really interested in doing it. And so I was able to obtain it. I don't know if she's ever going to maybe make it pay for a pattern, so I won't just share the PDF. But I will put the link so that if you want to, you can reach out to her and she will send it to you. So this is the January square. It's called Puff Stitch. And the black is where the puffs are at. Now, what I like about this is the stitch pattern she's using for the white part. It's wonderful. And here's also what I like about these sampler ones, is that you discover new patterns. You discover new stitch patterns. And this right here, I am definitely going to use that stitch pattern on a blanket yarn blanket. So I think it's going to look great, and I love it. And you guys know herringbone half double crochet is my favorite stitch. It's going to be featured in the next square, by the way. But I discovered that stitch from doing one of these 12-month challenges. The other thing, or year-long crochet along with the unraveled mitten, I believe, and I never finished it. Full disclosure, but I did discover that stitch, and I've loved it ever since, and have since designed 2 things with it. So anyway, the other thing that I like about this, and I think why it appealed to me, is because it's black and white. It's simple, 2 colors. The black is always going to be an accent when you see the pattern. The white is the main feature color. I don't have to grab yarn. I don't have to think of anything. I got the yarn and I'm just going for it. So I'm loving how it is so far. It's supposed to be 12-inch squares, and it probably is about a 12-inch square. I haven't measured it, but it may be a little bit bigger because mine tend to get bigger. And I think we use a H hook. I think H, or I gotta figure that out so I won't mess up. I use whatever she said use. Alright, so here's what I'm doing with this. Let me show you what I'm doing. So I bought this while I was in Chicago, and you guys know I'm all excited because I'm trying to be more organized with the show, and with what we do, with my crafting. I want to be productive, I want to enjoy it, and I want to be consistent. And so, but I'm in general, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of, and I'm talking too much, but if you've ever heard of National Novel Writing Month, I think it's called Nanowrimo. It's every November. First time I heard of it was actually from a crafter who is also a writer, but my husband has participated in it for many years as well. But they have these 2 categories, and I may not get it right, but it's sort of like this. There are people who are planners, and there are people who are pantsers. And pantsers are people who sort of ride by the seat of their pants. They just open up the computer and they start writing. There's no plan. And that's really how I write as well. But that's also how I craft. That's also how I've handled the YouTube channel. I'm trying to find a happy medium, and I'm actually excited about doing a little more planning. So that's why you're seeing this video is a part of the new plan for 2022. And I got some other things coming up as well. But anyway, so I'm not using this. I've tried to do planners, written planners. I'm just not good at it. So what I'm doing instead is like a diary. So this is going to be like a crafty diary. I'm jotting down ideas and notes in whatever order that I want to. And I am documenting the things that I'm working on in here so that at the end of the year, I'll be able to look back at this and really read through some of these memories. So here is what I did. I took a picture of my square and stuck it in here. I have one of those little Polaroid printers that you can print from your phone, and the kind of film you use is actually a sticker. So I'm doing that. I'm writing my memory. I wrote down the date. I wrote down a couple of things that are going on in the world as I am writing it. I wrote down the date I finished it, and I wrote down the yarn that I used. And then I wrote down what I thought about this this square. So it'll be fun to read through that at the end of the year as I make my way. And I think it's going to help me stay motivated for this particular blanket. So that's that one. I don't think I have much more to say about that one. The last one I'm going to share with you is that I'm finally going to tackle that Christmas blanket, guys. You know, I want a Christmas blanket. I told you in a more recent video, in the last video, that I knew I was going to do some kind of a square pattern. I hadn't figured it out yet. Well, I found what I want to do. Now, this actually is not really squares for a blanket. It is from Daisy Farm Craft. And guys, you know, we love her. I know a lot of you guys love her. She does lots of tutorials. I've gotten some great borders for my blankets from her. She makes a lot of baby blankets. And this particular design was made to be a hot pad. And so let me show it to you. It is called the Christmas Tree Square. And what I'm doing, she's got two. She's got a Christmas tree square. She also has a candy cane square. I'm not doing the candy cane. I'm going to do the tree in two different colors. Okay, so let me show you the yarns I'm using. And I also want to say thank you to Karen K. Thank you, Karen, because this bag you got from me is coming in handy for this project. See, so here are my colors. I mean, you can't see them very well, but here are my colors. I wanted a vintage look for my blanket, so I'm using Hirschner's Worsted 8, and the reddish color is cranberry. The green color is dark moss, and the lighter color is called sandstone. And I had originally bought these to do the pineapple square make-along last year with Christy from Crochet Creations by Christy, and I totally failed. I actually got one of those squares finished, and then I had one partially finished. It's all going to get fraud because now we're doing this. Let me show you the square. That is the front. So I'm going to alternate some green trees and some cranberry trees. So dark moss and sandstone on this one, and then the other half of them will be the cranberry and sandstone. So this is the only one I have done so far. These are supposed to be not quite squares. They're supposed to come out 8.5 by 8. So, but who cares? It doesn't matter. It's just a modular design. Like I said, when she made this was supposed to be a hot pad. And so the way she did her back, she didn't really care about where the yarn was at. The only thing you carried was the main color, so that it would be where you needed it to be by the time you needed it again. But the accent color she did not carry. So on the back of hers, there's yarn just crisscrossing all over the back. Now, at first I was going to do that, and I was like, well, I'm just going to line it. But then I realized that if I go ahead and carry the yarn, I won't have the crisscrosses. But it's definitely got a front and a back. You can see my carries. You see them rising up, you know, when I'm picking them back up. That is the back. And you see how the front is coming out much more neater. It's easy, it's fun, I love it. I added one extra. So with her hot pad, you border it with single crochet. I did one in the sandstone border color, single crochet all around, and then I came back and put the moss green, the dark moss on there, and that's what I will do with each one. And then we will figure out how we're gonna join them down the line. With this one, I want to make 30. So the goal will be making 3 of these a month, so that by October, I will have 30 and I can begin to put them together so that I will have this for Christmas 2022 as a decoration. So Daisy Farm Crafts, I will link it down below. Someone else took this pattern and made it into a blanket, but it's like it's not modular, so you're carrying your yarns or whatever. It's beautiful. It will be in the link. I didn't want to do that one. I thought if I can just do a bunch of little squares and then sew them together down the line, I think that I would be more successful. So that's going to be my 2022 finally Christmas blanket. All right, so the reason why we're doing this is to hold me accountable. I will be back next week with more to talk to you about and give you some updates. We won't always have progress on all of the squares. Like for instance, the black and white is a 12-month thing, and I am going to every once in a while do an extra one, but for the most part it's once a month. So I'm gonna try and do an extra one here and there so that I can be finished sometime in November and put it together. But other than that, that's it. That's all. That's what Squared Up Saturday is gonna be, what it's all about. It's showing you my progress on these blankets. I have gotten some great patterns that I've found because of Instagram. I'm so tempted to start a mosaic crochet blanket, but I'm going to try to get some progress here before I do that. And I think that's going to be it. That's going to be all for this episode of Squared Up Saturday. I will meet you guys back here again a week from today and hopefully be able to show you some progress. But I will also be on tomorrow for Sunday Shenanigans, so stay tuned for that. In that video, I will be showing you guys all kind of hauls, what I got for Christmas, what I got, some of the things I got for my birthday, and some progress on some of my other projects. So I started a new knitted project today, so I'll show you some of that. I have my February lady sweater, which I'll show you tomorrow, and I might start an amigurumi today. That's the plan. So anyway, that's it. That's all for this episode of Squared Up Saturday with Kim the Crafty Nomad, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Until we meet again, keep it crafty, guys. Bye. I paused it instead of stopping it.